I'm just ready. Hey, there we go. It's like as if we've never done this before. Or at least me. You're a pro. You should talk while I type.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Logan Tarrant. Welcome to the Clapped Out Podcast.
I don't like that at all.
Which part?
The smooth, sultry.
You're easy listening on the nines with Logan. Now I'm gonna listen to some jazz flute and play some jazz flute for you for a little while.
It's the jazz flute right there.
That's, you wanna maybe we let's maybe wind it back and maybe you jump in here and why don't you reintro the whole situation for us,
Sure.
Rye?
Welcome to the Clapped Out Podcast presented by Monster Clutches. My name's Rye. That's Logan. And you're going to
Dude,
listen
hold on, stop.
to
Time out,
just
time out.
two
So let's
people
back it up,
here.
back it up, back
And
it up, back it up.
sure.
Let's do that again, but this time I want you to say, my name's Rye, and then I'm gonna be like, and I'm Logan. Because I feel like you
Okay,
take
okay.
that
There
every
you go.
time you
No,
take
I
it
got it.
from
I got
me.
it. I got it. I got it.
All
You'll
right.
just
All right. You go ahead, do it again.
two, one. Hey, welcome to the Clapped Out Podcast. We are back here in 2024. It's January. I don't even know what the date is. It doesn't matter. That's Logan. And
Dude, I want to introduce myself.
you're supposed to pitch it back to me and be like, and that's right.
No, man, that's not what we discussed just a moment ago. I said you introduced Rye, and then I go, I'm Logan.
Okay.
Do it one more time. One more time. Back it up.
And scene. Ready?
Okay, yeah.
Hey, and welcome to the Clapped Out Podcast. My name is Rye, and that silent guy over there is
It's
Logan.
Logan. Sorry, I missed my mark. Should we do it one more time? Or we should just roll on? Presented by Monster Clutch Co. You'll pay for the whole seat, but you'll only use the edge.
And I said that we didn't really have anything to talk about, and we were probably just going to fill a bunch of dead air.
It was just
I
being
never
me.
imagined this would be the way we would go about doing it.
I got a story to tell.
Let's hear it.
This has nothing to do with cars, but it's something that I think is hilarious, and I got punked. And I'm going to start doing this on the podcasts because while we are a car I haven't told you, tell the people that I have not prefaced you, or not prefaced, I have not
No,
given
I
you
have no
no
idea what you're
idea
about
what's
to talk
about to
about.
happen. Maybe put your cell phone down then, dude. What are you doing? Are you not
I'm
interested in me?
sharing
Well,
the
sharing is
live feed
caring. Okay.
to
Whoa, what are the other tabs you got open there, buddy?
don't
That
worry
was
about that.
weird.
It's
So,
my VPN.
as much as we are a car channel, we're also we're just more of like a lifestyle. You know what I mean? And now that I'm entering my villain era, I want to tell some stories on how I got to this point in my life.
Can we go from
And
what if we put an E on the end and we went from car channel to care channel?
I hate you. I hate you. I hate everything. I hate you. I hate you so much. So dumb. So anyway, God, I hate you. How dare you? So we are a car channel, but again, I'm entering my villain era, and I want to tell you guys how I got there. And this story takes place. Let me back it up again. On my father's life, on my mother's life, on Rye's life, on my fiance's life. This is a true story. I'm not making up anything in what I'm about to tell you. This really happened to me, and it's something that I think is one of the funniest things
Gross.
that's ever happened. This is during a phase where I was what I would consider
Your
a
villain area, we know. Let's
no, no, no,
go.
no. This is during a. Can I tell the story? Or you want to just hop in and interrupt me? I'm going to be a real villain in a second. Okay, good. So this is before I became a villain, Rye. This is my fuckboy era. Okay,
Oh,
so I want you to picture this. I was maybe 32 to 48 pounds lighter. Not who's counting. I had pierced ears, diamond studded ears. I worked out like a maniac. I had abs, kinda. Um, I went to the tanning salon. I was basically Guidoed out, right? You know the whole deal, right? I was Jersey Shore to the max,
you
basically.
actually went to a tanning bed?
Oh, dude, it was great. I
I could put
actually
my hand on a Bible and swear on everybody that I care about in my life and say that I have never,
You know what
ever.
though? I'll tell you this much. It's actually really peaceful in there and it's warm. I fall asleep.
I have tanned, but you know,
The bed,
I
dude,
do
the
it
bed's good.
organically.
Okay. Well, you know what, dude? You're better than me.
Okay.
Whatever. One time I went in a stand-up tanning bed. Um, I was a girl that I was dating at the time went to University of Kentucky and she had a stand-up tanning bed in her apartment complex. and I usually put a sock over my twig and berries, and I forgot to, and I got a sunburnt wiener. It's a true story, but that's not the story I'm telling you. But that is a true story. I did.
The
I couldn't.
tanning beds in apartment complexes are usually next to the laser disc players.
No, no, this is like a nice dude. You got to remember, like the Jersey Shore era, everyone was tanning. Like it was gym tan
Oh yeah.
laundry. Anyway, I'm gonna set the scene for you because this is a true story. This really happened to me, and I think this girl deserves a shout out because it was impressive the way that this went down. I was in Florida for spring break, Panama City Beach. Shout out to the worst, best place in the world. And again, I'm in my gym tan laundry phase. I think I'm the hottest dude that's ever lived, and I wasn't afraid to talk to girls. So obviously, I'm spitting mad game, which at the time was probably me being like, "Hey, girl, but you can't take those pants off without taking those shoes off." Probably something to that extent. And as I'm walking down and let me also say, I love my fiance very much. So if Jasmine ever
Yeah,
listens
I'm
to
so
this,
scared. I have no idea where you're going with this. So
it's a true story. This really happened. So as
you
we're walking
keep
down the
saying
beach,
that.
I am because it's one of those things where I got so hard that when I got, it was one of those moments where I was like, damn, and I couldn't even get mad because it was so good. I'm walking down the beach and I see a girl walking towards me and she's with her friend. She's a brunette. Uh, she's attractive, and I walk up to her and I say something to the effect of, "You're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen, and I would love to see you later. Can we maybe get together? Can I get your number?" And to my surprise, she's like, "Absolutely." And I'm like, "All right, this is great." And she gives me her phone number. And the rest of the day, I'm like, "Well, my plans for the evening are set. I'm going to meet up with her name is Erin. She's from Louisville. She's now on OnlyFans, if anyone was wondering. Um, and Theo Vaughn follows her. It's a swear to God, all true. She's a Twitch streamer and some other stuff now, but I had to do my history lesson here. I had to go back and make sure that I didn't have my
Yeah,
facts
you had
mixed
to
up.
do a hysterectomy.
Yeah, I wish, dude. I would have rather had one of those than what happened to me.
Then
So
what
she
do you
gives me
mean?
her phone number, and we're getting ready to go out for the night. And I text her. I say, "Hey, do you still want to meet up tonight?" And she writes back pretty quickly. She's like, "Absolutely. Let's meet at Spinnaker's," which was a beach nightclub deal in Panama. Everyone goes there. It's kind of it's a cool place, whatever. Um, so we agree to meet there. I'm all excited. I'm getting done up, dude. I'm shaving every part of my body, butt cheeks included.
Should have done it before you went to Florida.
I get my nicest black button up, which was not stained yet, and whatever dumb shorts somewhere, and we end up going to this nightclub. And she's texting me the whole time, and it's not she's not being overly aggressive, and neither am I. We're kind of keeping it casual, like just we're both being pretty chill. And she's like, "I just got here. I'm in the back. I have a plaid short. I have a plaid shirt on and some shorts." And I'm like, "Okay, it's a weird choice for apparel, but okay."
Hmm.
And I walk into the back room, and there's this back bar area. And I'm like, "You here?" Question mark. And she's like, "Yep, sure am." I look up and I see a guy in a plaid shirt and shorts. And I said, you're not her." And he's like, "You're not her." And that's when I found out that this girl got another dude's number on the beach
Oh, she's so good.
and gave me another dude's number. And neither one of us were smart enough to like ask key questions to make sure it was actually her. So
Dude,
yeah, and that was one.
comedy gold.
It was I just was crushed.
Well, now that I mean, usually these stories would end up like you don't know how to find this person.
So then I was making out with this dude, right? Because I'm like, you might as well just jump right. Like it was to this day, I don't think I've ever got that bad. And I've been punched in the face by many girls. And this was one of those like I walked away from it like
That is,
she's the winner, dude. She's the winner. I cannot believe that she concocted that and it went so smoothly.
it reminds me, it's right in the same lane of, I mean, now that you, like I said, not if you could, you know where to find her, but there's something admirable about a prank that you're not gonna get to see the results of, but you know how it's gonna go down, and you just hope, and then it kind of keeps you going through life. Um, my
Man.
dad, when I was a kid, we went on a trip to the Outer Banks in North Carolina, and we were on a ferry to, I don't remember which island we're going because they're long. Anyway, so we're on a ferry ride, and there was a couple that was like, "Hey, would you mind taking a picture of us?" And my dad was like, "Sure, absolutely." And this is before everybody had cell phones when you couldn't. I don't know if you guys remember. Maybe I'm dating myself, but once upon a time when you took a picture, you had to drop it off.
And get it developed.
Yeah, so you wouldn't see him for days, weeks, months, whoever knows how long your vacation was. So this couple had like one of the little instant cameras from Kodak that whatever, asked for pictures, took a few. My dad hands it back to him, and we walk away. And my dad starts laughing, and I was like, "What's so funny?" And he's like, "I hope they like pictures of their feet."
Oh my gosh.
So he would just purposely take terrible pictures, knowing that I'm never going to meet these people ever again. But in a couple weeks, that's going to pay off.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah.
I do you what if plot twist, your dad gets a phone call? I have a very specific set of skills. And
It's like
Liam Neeson just shows up at his doorstep. He's like, we just wanted a picture on the ferry, you
it's like
dickhead.
Taken meets Joe Dirt.
Yeah, dude. He's just on it. He's
All I
ready
got
to
is this
go, dude.
this Polaroid picture, or not even a Polaroid, like a developed picture.
I tell you about
That's
the
a
time
big
my
day.
dad drank my piss.
I vaguely remember this, but
Yeah,
I,
he told me he had to test my piss for sugar,
yes, yes,
and I had
yes.
to give him a piss sample.
But it
And
was apple
I,
juice.
I pissed in a cup. Okay, well, there's the
Well,
punchline.
yeah, yeah. I think everybody knew where that was going.
All right, well, you take the conversation in a direction, Moby Dick. Let's follow you somewhere into the depths of hell. I'd love to.
What is
Speaking of,
Moby
I
Dick
don't know,
exactly?
man. I don't know. I was trying to think of some type of seafarrier I could use.
I'm sorry I ruined your father piss drinking bit.
Look, dude, if your dad doesn't drink your piss, is he really your dad? Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, he's got to be willing to at least. You got to suck the poison out one way or another.
Of my pee?
What? Pee's poisonous. Wait.
Well,
Okay, this is going.
all right, car related. Car related. Speaking of cars,
Yeah,
if you need a clutch for your car, Monster Clutch Co is the way to go. Monster Clutch Co. You pay for the whole seat, but you only use the edge. See how many times we could plug Monster Clutch Co. in this podcast
I like it.
specifically. So the Trans Am runs. The for those of you listening that are not paying attention to the million things I post on social media every day, I bought a 2099 a 2000. I bought a WS6 a 99 to 02. I don't 98 to 02 WS6.
A
I don't know
fourth
what
gen. Just say fourth gen.
I bought a fourth generation Trans Am WS6. It is red, if that means anything to anybody. Out of Pennsylvania. Met the guy in Northeast Ohio or West Virginia. I think West Virginia was terrible. The guy was awesome. West Virginia sucks. And I picked the car up. I bought it as a roller, put a stock bottom end LS3 in it, cam, and single 88 millimeter VS Racing turbo, TH400 PTC converter, and it's got a 9-inch or a 12 volt or something in it. But anyway, put it all together and running a Haltech ECU, Haltech Nexus R5. And first time I fired it up, I have the ignition key on and I have a start button. When you key on, it sends power to the start button, hit the start button, it starts it. So the first time I try to fire it, it cranks like 2 revolutions and it fires right off, but then it dies immediately. I'm like, oh, dang. So I was trying to figure out what the problem was. I want to shout out James Short. James Short looked at a data log for me and was like, "You're an idiot. This is what's going on with it." And then he sent me a map and it didn't fix it. And I was like, "You're an idiot, James. You stupid idiot." And then it turned into a team view session where we're on the phone together trying to figure out what's going on with it. And we started adding fuel. We tried adding. I mean, nothing was working, and it would not idle. It would just fire up, flare up, and die. Now on the ECU, there are 4 high current outputs that can handle 25 amps apiece, and you can data log these.
Mm-hmm.
And on the face of the ECU, just like the Terminators, don't they have indicator lights on them or something?
Yes.
So the Nexus has indicator lights for all 4 of the 25 amp outputs, and then it has a bunch of 8 amp high current outputs as well. So if you want to feed, like a low amperage trans brake or something like that, you can use those 8 amps as well. So you got 8 amps worth of juice on each one of those, and the ECU lights up when those things are active. So I'm like, it sounds like someone's ripping the injectors out. As soon as it fires off, it just dies. I'm like, what the heck, man? And as we're looking at James and I are looking at the tune, and I'm like, hey, click on engine control relay and click on starter. And I had the start button set up as on off and not momentary.
Gotcha.
So while I was holding it, it would crank because I was on, and when as soon as I lift my finger off, it cuts power. The
Hmm.
problem is the lights on the ECU. I filmed the ECU because I was like, maybe those outputs are just dying. So I was filming the ECU, and it sure enough, it doesn't show those lights dropping off. When James pulls the data log, he's looking at it. He goes, "Man, it's killing power to the injectors and coils. Like they're not demanding any power. Like what the heck's going on there?" Jump back because I had it set up as on off and not momentary. That's what it was doing, which is kind of a cool feature. So you can set like long press, short press for
Yeah.
momentary. However you want to do it, but it's not it's not clearly explained that it's going to kill all the power to the injectors and the coils, but it makes absolute sense. You flip it
Right.
on, it's going to stay on.
I wired or I helped the guy troubleshoot. He had some issues on it's like an old F100, like 1950s, and it had a small block Ford 50 Mustang swapping the thing. And somebody had done like some shoddy wiring, but it had like a real inconsistent start. And it kind of went through the same thing where we figured out that when you're cranking it, the ignition doesn't have like the coil didn't have power. It wasn't like
Yeah, so it was grabbing
hot.
power. It was grabbing
So
for a radio or something.
yeah, so it was like it would crank and crank and crank, and then when you would let go of the key, the inertia of the motor still spinning,
It
sometimes it would
would
give it
let it
enough
off.
power to the coil that it would fire off, but it was
Yep.
like hit or miss. I'm like, dude, what is going on? And then because it would fire up, and then you're like, all right, let's see if we got spark. You stick a screwdriver in the spark plug lead, hold it next to a bolt, and I'm like, crank it. And I'm like, it's not doing anything while the motor's turning over. How is it even firing up? But
Yeah.
yeah,
I had
it's
that. Remember that Miata cart I built?
yeah.
That's why it wouldn't start. I was
Oh
getting
yeah, that was
I was yeah.
days of troubleshooting for that
I
one.
know, man. And it was ignition, it was the ignition output that I was using. Not output, but I just had like a fuse tapper in line. And it was like the radio fuse. And when you crank, the radio loses power.
Right. Yep.
So ever since that, every single like even the F body, like I didn't want to mess with any of the fact like, dude, the dash wiring was a nightmare on this thing. Like they gutted it. And they integrated a mega squirt into it. And I shouldn't say it's a nightmare. It really wasn't that bad, but you know the deal. Like when you get someone
Yeah.
else's project and you got to jump into it. So it took me a minute to kind of get my bearings. And dude, it was nice. Now the only problem is it idles at like 2,200 RPM. So I got to figure that out. I'm guessing there's a little vacuum leak somewhere.
Somewhere. Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of RPM, dude.
I've had it where like the intake you know how on an LS head, the intake flange is like machined. There's a little bit of a step there above like the casting flash. I've had it where the intake was like it had enough slop in the bolt holes that it was cocked sideways and they were all tight.
Slop in the cock holes.
It was like I had a 4150 like carb style intake with an elbow on my car. I had it cranked sideways and I fired it up and it went right to 3200. And
You're talking like this with your
I know
hands, and it's
I have this new laptop with a new camera and now I feel very influencer kind of ready. If you guys are
this is what
listening
you
audio
got.
only, I'm doing a lot of hand talking.
You know how many dudes in bathhouses have seen this eye? For you, those listening at home, I just held my hands up to the camera to make it look like I was staring through a glory hole. If you're wondering,
Man, which we did discuss like glory hole should be
a wall, not a sheet,
a hole in a wall,
not a sheet.
not a sheet.
It's one of those things. Like if you're gonna commit, commit. You know, like man, I just feel like I
A
guess my
sheet
big.
is just like you're just wearing a costume. It's not like you're actually separated.
I
It's
would prefer. I would prefer they were wearing a costume. If
you're
it,
just dressed up like a ghost to get your hey, Logan, if I needed a clutch, like I was on my way to
see some spooky savings at month. Steve, I'm sorry, man, dude. We're not trying to segue from glory holes to monster clutches, but it's just who we are as people. You know what you signed up for.
if we pitch that to him
Monster glory
initially,
holes.
yeah.
It's just monster. It's just I'm just dressed like Shrek. Like,
But
come here, dog.
there's no reason for you to be wearing a costume because you're on the other side of the
I know.
wall
I would still, but
or
imagine,
sheet.
like, play this out. Play this out. You go to a glory hole, right? You're just like, man, I'm down. I love the ambiance. That's why I go. And you stare through the peephole and you see a dude in a Shrek costume. It's a story, man. That is a story.
Oh my God. So good.
This one time I worked at a restaurant called Montana Grill in Bowling Green, Kentucky. God, I probably shouldn't have said that. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. John Shoulders is the manager. He's a good friend of mine. Sorry about what I'm about to tell the whole world, John. Also, Montana Grill in Bowling Green is a wonderful place to eat. And now that I don't work there,
Yeah, the rating has gone up substantially on the sanitation grade.
my buddy Joel got me the job there. And I was 19, 20 years old. And actually, I was 22, 21. Um, and I was day drinking at a bar called Hilligan's in Bowling Green. I went to Western Kentucky University, for those of you wondering. And here's the deal: I don't day drink anymore, but at the time I did very much. And I forgot that I had a shift that evening at work, and I was not sober by the time my shift came up. I mean, I was not in the best headspace, put it that way. I mean, I was in a great headspace, but I was not for work. And I had to serve a table of older women, and they sat at a high top, and I walked up, and I'm clearly not they're all there mentally, and they each order a glass of wine. And for whatever reason, I don't know why I said it, but I snipped back at like the alpha woman of the table. And I said, "Why don't you just order a whole fucking bottle, lady?" And she looks at me like, "Excuse me." I'm like, No, because it's less expensive. If you order the bottle, it's cheap. It's just cheaper that way. I'm saving you some money.
I'm helping you out.
I'm gonna go." And it was one of those things where I'm like, dude, straighten your shit up. You got a cell phone bill to pay, bro. Anyway, working at Montana Grill, I have beef. This is going to sound bad because it's our audience, but I don't like car people very much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like car people. I don't like car show people, I guess is the one I should say. Like the wake up at 4 a.m. and polish your car with a coat of wax. And the reason I bring that up is every time Beach Bend would have a car show style thing, I would end up having to serve these people at a
Yeah.
restaurant. And dude, car people, you guys suck at restaurants, just for real.
They are like a Jimmy Buffett concert just spit out. Is that the guys we're talking about? Like the good
Yes,
guys, car
yeah,
show guys? Yeah, like I don't
and
want
they
to walk
all
around a parking lot
yeah,
and
they
sit in
flirt
lawn
with
chairs.
waitresses so awkwardly. They're like,
Oh, yes.
"What time's your shift in, sweetheart? You need a sugar daddy?" And you're like, "Shut up, dude." Ugh, yeah, they're the worst. Car dudes are the worst people to serve if you're a waiter or a waitress. They are the worst. They're terrible people to work with. And then there's exceptions to that rule. Serious racers that have just won a race are great because they pay you. But when you get like a 20 top of car show dudes and they're so hard to serve, man.
Well, because they've been doing what you just talked about. They've probably been day drinking, sitting out and in their lawn chairs, listening to the Beach Boys all day
That sounds great.
in a black asphalt parking lot.
No, no, it's usually grass at Beach Bend,
Oh yeah, yeah.
which makes
Oh,
it even
I'm
worse.
I'm thinking like the good guys events that I've
It's a
gone to,
compounding factor though. Grass-based car shows, I'm sure they get way more day drunk.
or yeah, like in the bug exposure. So they've just been like, you got your ankle deep in a pile of fire ants while you're cracking
What
up
kind of car shows?
lukewarm bush light. What?
Who's gonna? I'm just trying to like
I'm just thinking like there's ant mounds in a
ankle
grass.
deep in fire ants, dude. I'm running for my life. I'm not just
Okay,
gonna
you don't get like fire ant mounds in the middle of the grass in your yard out there in Kentucky. I'm so glad that didn't come through. For everybody listening on the audio only format, Logan just stood up and
soiled my pants.
he farted into the microphone that he is now talking into and sniffing from. But yeah, no, the car show crowd. Yeah.
Sucks, dude. Who's the worst? Who's the
Those are the
worst?
guys that say anything bigger than a 15-inch wheel is too big.
I say the same thing about my butt plug.
Give me
Hey,
some torque thrust and Cooper Cobras. Go ahead. Sorry.
What do you think is if you had to pick? All right, so you're dead and you're in hell, obviously. Let's not play games. What car show is going to be in hell?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Man, if you asked me like years ago, like when I was real young, I would say Nope, but now kind of
No
nostalgic for
way,
Nope.
dude.
Okay, no, no,
Nope.
no.
Nobody's back, by the way.
I know. I saw that. Did you guys ever have Drop Jaw?
That sounds like a porn move.
It's a mini truck car show, and it was massive. It was like the Juggalo. I've said this before. Mini truckers are the juggalos of the car world. And we got some friends that were mini truckers, and I just give them shit just to do it. Yep. Somebody commented right there, drop jaw. Drop jaw for sure would be, I think that would be my version of hell. It's like the gathering of the juggalos, but with cars.
So I don't know. I've never been exposed to drop jaw, but I can't say that a mini truck style car show would be. I feel like
It's a lot of bead tossing, terrible, loud music,
so you mean like
and
okay, so you're saying that drop jaw would be worse
Four Loco.
than like the KDM, the Korean domestic market Hyundai Kia show.
Yeah. Because I
So
think
you're
like
telling me like riced out Kia Stingers everywhere you looked would be better than mini trucks.
because I think they're going to be sitting still and static. Like at a drop jaw show, they're moving and shaking. Like they're cruising through because you don't want to walk around and throw out beads. They want to drive around and all their homies are sitting in the bed of the truck.
Beads, what do they get beads for?
It's like Mardi Gras.
So dudes are showing their cans for beads?
I'm sure they
Oh
are.
my
Yeah.
God, dude. Oh my God. Speaking of tits. Oh my God. Holy shit. How did I forget about this? So when I first moved to Bowling Green, again, Beach Bend. Oh my God, this is so funny.
What are we doing?
Harley Davidson has there's a Harley Davidson drag race and like show at
Yeah,
Beach
yeah.
Bend. All right.
I've been to a few of those when I was a kid. My dad used to take me.
Of course he did. So my uncle, my uncle John's like, hey Logan, you want to go to Beach Bend? There's this Harley show. God bless my uncle. He doesn't give a shit about. I mean, he does. He likes car. He's into cars, but he's not like pure car guy, you know. But he decides he wants to take me to Beach Bend because I'm new to town and he wants to show me the sights. So we go to this Harley Davidson show and shine slash Harley drags race. We pull in and immediately I see just a pair of beaver tails flapping in the wind attached to this like 85-year-old woman. Just I don't know how many senior citizen women I saw with their tits hanging out at the show. Like it was, I didn't realize what was going on. And my uncle just looks at me like, well, what do what are you gonna do? Like he had no recourse whatsoever. So I don't know what it is about old ladies and Harley Davidsons, but they get their cans out
Dude, my
immediately.
dad took me to so many shows like that when I was a kid. I remember I had this is when I was still living in Wisconsin. I was real young, so 6 or 7 years old or something like that. There was a bar that he used to go to called the Blind Pig, and they had some sort of like a bike gathering, whatever. And I had a Milwaukee Brewers baseball jersey, like a button up,
And
and I
just
loved it.
quick pause, and we'll get right back to your story because I
Mhm.
want to hear it. But I think we're off topic. I think not only would there be a car show in hell, but there would be a bike section to this show.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
So, yeah, lots of topless
Yes,
older women.
I can't hear you, sweetheart. I texted you. Yeah, I texted you. Get up here! I'm doing a podcast.
God dang it.
She talks. She just oh
It's all
what,
right.
sweetie?
Should we start it over? Let's just start it over.
She always does that, dude. You tell
And you
one
know what? And I
story.
know she knew you were doing it because she's watching the live feed.
Do you think she's mad about the story I told about that girl that gave me the dude's number? You think she's gonna be scold me later?
I don't know, possibly. But I saw
Milwaukee Brewers shirt.
yes, Milwaukee Brewers baseball shirt, and I remember being very upset and crying because I got Jello on it and it stained it because my dad took me to watch Jello wrestling at the age of 6 years old. And I
You
was
ever think
very
about you ever like you ever nah, I would say no, that's not trauma. There's no way that's trauma.
no, I don't think so. I'm
You
sure
know
it's
what
not.
though? I really don't think it
They also
okay.
did it. Okay, they also did another thing. This is way more wholesome. Well, kind of. It was at Great Lakes Dragaway. I remember that. And they did what they called the Honda drop, where they picked up a Honda. they rented a crane and they would pick up and drop Honda motorcycles and cars because these are all Harley guys
At Great Lakes?
at Great Lakes Dragway. Yes. And then so they did a Honda drop where they just repeatedly just picked up our motorcycles and just dropped them into a pile. And then they brought out a jet car. It was Art Arfon's legendary jet racer, as well as turbine powered tractor pulls.
Dude,
Uh,
I hate jet cars. Sorry. I hate them. I think they're the
I
dumbest
do
fucking thing.
too.
They're
I
so
do
stupid.
too.
I don't want to, I hate that you said legendary because I'm like, I don't,
But I would say more so for the truck and tractor pulls. Anyway, but they
I
parked a
should,
jet
yeah. I'm not
car in
trying to,
front of
really,
a
hold on.
pile.
Before I
They had a
get
pile of
canceled,
shitty Hondas
I don't want to
that
get
have just been
canceled
dropped from a crane.
by the jet guys.
They, yeah, there's a lot of them out there.
I
They
know,
are
dude.
real.
I'm trying to apologize. I'm trying so hard to say I'm sorry. Listen, everybody that wants to put a jet engine on your cars because you think it's cool. I'm sorry. I didn't mean what I said. Your jet cars are cool. Super dope. I love when it takes 40 minutes to shut the lanes down to prep them and get them down the track for one hit. Sweet. So
Kids, kids love them. Yeah.
Art
So
Arfunkel is a legendary.
Art Arfons pulled his jet car up in front of a pile of now destroyed Honda motorcycles, and I think like one
And then
old,
afterburner him to death.
yeah, and just
That's
set him.
cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that was the thing. That was another thing. They would just burn piles of tires instead of
Yeah.
having a bonfire with like
Yeah.
actual wood at these bike meetings. They would
Yeah.
literally just set a tire on fire, and everybody would just stand around that.
All right. Well, I need to rescind any negative things I said about
Art
art
Arfons, the
because burning.
green monster.
Okay. Do you think that's what he called his wiener too?
100%, dude.
He just caught some syphilis in Thailand
How
and was
can you
like,
not?
I would, dude. I've never had a good nickname for my
I
wiener. I
was
just have to explain the scabs mostly.
so I was introduced to the Arfons family because I had a video, and you can find it on YouTube. It's called Blood, Sweat, and Gears. And it was a VHS tape. I remember I got it at like an AutoZone or Advanced whatever auto parts store when I was a kid, when they used to have the rack. It was like bleached by the sun sitting by the window of VHS tapes.
Yes.
And my mom bought it for me, and it was monster trucks, truck and tractor pull, and then I don't think it was Art, I think it was his son. I can't remember who Arfon's son was, but they had a four-wheeler with a jet engine on it, and they would do exhibition passes at tractor pulls indoors. So this dude's riding a jet-powered four-wheeler across basically like a hockey arena sized or basketball court, and it was wild to watch when I was a kid. Anyway,
Jason Webster brings up a good point about Harley drags. They bob for hot dogs in the back of the bikes. You know how they like
yes,
hang a hot dog?
yep,
I bet I'd be so good at that,
so
dude.
good.
I'd be so good. You know what I would do? I'd be like, give me 12 brats, dude. I'll get them all in one shot.
Yeah,
I bet
that was the other one they
I
do.
could get so much meat in my mouth, dude.
They do the keg racing, which is where they have to push a keg down the track with the front of the bike. Can't put your feet down, and then they also do the slowest bike. Like how slow can you walk your bike? Can't put your feet down.
Can I hit the wall a few times?
No, you're not. I don't know. It's dude. Bike rallies are, yeah, they're real weird.
Yeah, man, they are, dude. The bagger scene is something that I haven't been able to get. I have not been able to get on the bagger boards here, buddy. Like I think I'm trying to understand. It's just not something I'm not
Yeah,
into them. I don't hate them. I don't think they're bad by any means, but I've just never like I see all these like done up, and a buddy of mine has a shop down in Florida, Weird Cycles, Nick Weir, and Weird, and he there's a Wierd. God damn. That'd be funny if I messed that up because it's spelled the wrong way. Yeah, Weird. And Nick and I came up in the suburban area of Chicago, and he moved to Florida and he started a shop, and he's done really well for himself in terms of building these bikes. Well, he'll put pictures and videos up of these bikes, and like fundamentally they're sick. Like they're very well done. He redoes a bunch of trash work that other people do, and he builds them to like the specs of like what these cool baggers are. I want to get on board and like baggers. I just don't know at what point does it switch and I decide I like them. Like there's some
yeah.
that I think look sick. He's done a couple that I think look really cool, but that scene is bizarre to me too.
It is wild. Like the two genres of baggers that I like. I stumbled on they have a bagger racing league. Have you
Oh,
seen that?
that's
And
insane.
I stumbled on baggers ripping at Laguna Seca, like through the corkscrew. And I was
Yep.
like, what am I?
Have
I watched the whole thing. Like,
Have
just
you
that was
seen
what
Sea
video.
Bear stunts?
And
Sea Bears,
that's the other one I was going to bring up. Yeah, that guy, he's like, he wears bib overalls, a straw hat, and Crocs, and he just shreds his bagger.
dude,
So
he
look up
kills it.
Sea Bear Stunts on Instagram and watch this dude. He he whips a bagger around like it's a dirt bike. It's awesome
Yeah,
to watch. But
yeah,
yeah, dude, it's rowdy.
it's insane. Like,
Which the other version of baggers that I really like is when I'm at the track and we're leaving the track and there's some dude just jamming like George Parliament, P Funk All Stars, some just the ones with the booming system, and he is having a blast and he's making sure everybody hears it. Yeah, I'm like, you know what? That guy's living his best life right now. I would
I
definitely,
will say, like,
definitely do that.
I hate when dudes on bikes blast their music, but if I had a bike with music with tunes, I would ruin everyone's day.
If it's a guy who pulls up and he's listening to like AC/DC Back in Black, like for the
Yeah.
fifth time today, and he's just blaring out the whole gas station, yeah, fuck that
I
guy.
can't do it, man. I
But if
can't do it.
Kenny Dangler rolled up blaring 3-6 Mafia to
Yeah.
your front yard, you'd be like, all right, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, a little 21 Savage pulls up to the light. I'm into it, dude.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, anyway, I don't know how we got to this point. We were talking about something that I mentioned the old lady boobs at the Harley drags.
And then we are talking about bikes, genres, and baggers, and how we don't get it.
You think so? The amount of boob hang outage that we have in today's society, I wonder what it's going to be like when we are senior citizens. I wonder if there's just going to be. I mean, I think the free the nipple thing is going to come into play here, and it's just going to be tits out everywhere.
As a father of all girls and a husband, like I don't know. No,
Yeah, that does suck for you. Yeah,
I don't wish any of that to ever happen.
I feel like I should free my nipples. You know what I mean? But I'm kind of just scared to take that first step.
I think you're fine. I mean, they are very it's like
It tastes like cinnamon.
is it like real big round or you got like pencil erasers? Like what's the situation like?
Depends
Like
on the temperature and humidity.
are they more two-dimensional than three or
Is what's the dew point?
I don't know.
Well, that determines
The
a lot.
humidity matters in this situation?
Okay, so clearly you're not sensitive to me, but that's fine. I'm not upset about it. Oh, dude. Man, this is normally the part of the show where I mention Monster Clutch Co. Are you trying to get off the line in a hurry and then your clutch is slipping? Don't even baddies get saddies. Make sure you get happy with the Monster Clutch today.
Yeah, maybe try push clutch sometime.
Push clutch, make happy go.
Yeah.
Monster Clutch Co.
Or
I'll tell you
release.
this much though about Monster Clutch Co.
Whoa.
Go ahead, say it back. What did I say?
Are you rhyming intentionally right now? Or
No, maybe I'm having a stroke.
no, I'll tell you this much though about Monster Clutch Co. Like at first I thought you were doing it on purpose, and then I thought you were just naturally doing it. But go on, freestyle it. I like it.
Dude, you think maybe I'm like really talented? Like maybe in that movie where the dude he's a CIA agent, but he has to get unlocked with a code phrase. He's part of like MK Ultra. Do you think maybe I got unlocked? We were talking about nipple play, and all of a sudden I'm going to be like 8 Mile. Everyone
Yeah.
from the 313, put your motherfucking hands up and follow me,
Or it's that Jet Li movie where like if you take his collar off, he just kills everybody.
dude.
I'm gonna
I
start
don't have
wearing
a collar. I don't have a
start wearing
collar
a
on though.
choker. You ever see the meme that said I bought a choker at God dang it.
Logan doesn't need a weather station. He just uses his nipples.
What was
Jesus.
that meme that I saw? Is like I bought a choker at Forever 21. Now I can't stop doing anal.
Oh my God, dude. I saw a video on Instagram and it was this chick and she's in her car. And the exact quote is, if I take my butt plug out, my man don't use it as a whatever, as a pacifier. He ain't for me. And I'm like, oh my God. What? What? Oh yeah, right away, babe.
I can't wait to
Oh.
hear my wife's thoughts on this podcast after this is over.
Oh, she commented immediately.
I know.
Yeah, immediately. And then you know what I did? I thought to myself, I should make it worse for Rye, and then I didn't. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to.
Yeah, well, I mean, I really think the theme here for this year for 2024, relaunching the podcast is really about this is what you get. Like
This is like if you
this is
sat in on
us.
a call with us. Yeah.
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 We're not pulling punches. Like if you don't want to work with us like this, then you know what? Maybe it's you're not the brand for us.
When I was 17 or 18, I drove down to Louisville, Kentucky, and I bought a 1989 Nissan 240SX hatchback. It had a Sylvia front end. It was black, painted gloss black. It had a SR20 with a GT30R and AEM EMS. There's a couple parts of the story, and they're all funny. The first was one of my buddies, Justin Neidel. I know he doesn't watch this podcast, but he's one of the dudes that got me into cars. Justin came down with me, and I had 10 grand cash in an envelope, saved up forever, sold my car, and finally had enough to buy this car. So I get down and look at the car, and I tell the guy, will you take 9 grand for it? And he's like, no, man, 10 grand. And he's like clearly emotional about selling the car. I mean, it was a very nicely done car for the time. And I'm like halfway down his driveway. I'm like, all right, man, well, I'm gonna grab lunch. And if you change your mind, holler at me and I'll swing back by and I'll pick the car up. Thinking like, I got him. He's gonna say, yeah, I'll take it. Right. And I get all the way to the end of the driveway and he still has not stopped me. So I turn around, I walk back and say, nah, fuck it, I'll buy it. I don't care. Like I didn't even. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna play these games, dude. I'll take it. So I pay him. He's counting the money out. It is $500 short. There's $500 missing out of my envelope. I did not take $500 out of that. Justin did not take $500 out of the envelope. I must have miscounted or something was wrong, but I was missing $500. And I tell the guy, I'm like, dude, I swear to you, I have no idea what happened to that money. God is my witness. I don't know what happened. We get the guy's upset about it, whatever. I can't remember. I came back up with some cash, went to an ATM or something, but I didn't have $500. Like I think I gave him an extra couple $100, whatever. I was still short a few $100. And we leave. Justin jumps in the car with me, and we get like an hour away from the dude's house. On our way home, we sold the car. And Justin pulls out $500 cash out of his pocket. He's like, "Yeah, I took it out of the envelope because I knew that you wouldn't barter with him, so I wanted to make sure you got a little bit of a better deal on the car." And I'm like, dude, what the hell, man? Like he gave me a heart attack. And to this day, it was one of the funniest things that's ever happened. Now, fast forward, it didn't have heat. I lived in the Chicago suburbs. It was my only car. It's the middle of winter, and I'm like, I gotta sell this fucking car, dude. I gotta get rid of this thing. I gotta get something that's more practical. So I posted it up on a couple forums. My buddy Mike Upham, he posted it on one of the SR20 forums. And it just so happened that someone on the SR20 forums was looking to trade his like 2006 or 2007 Acura RSX Type S, which at the time was like a $15,000 to $20,000 car.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude offered to trade me straight for the 240. And I'm like, this is one of my big first flips, on a car. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it, dude. I'm all excited. He's in North Carolina, oddly enough. He drives all the way to Chicago from North Carolina to make the deal. He gets there. It's winter. It's cold. He test drives the car. He's on the fence. He's just like, you could tell man, I don't want to drive back to North Carolina in
Yeah.
this thing. And as we're bartering, and I'm like, well, what's it going to take to get the deal done? I'd like to do it. He goes, man, I don't know. And as we're talking back and forth, my dad swings the garage door open. He goes, I'll tell you what it's going to take. How about a 50-inch flat screen? And he comes outside with a 50-inch flat screen television that he bought at Goodwill earlier that day. Didn't even know if it worked. And the guy's like, you son of a bitch, I'm in. And he does the deal. He trades me for this 240 and a flat screen. And he leaves in the 240 with this flat screen and some speakers and shit we had in the garage just laying around. Like we were just giving him stuff from the house to close the deal because my dad was sick of me complaining about not having heat in the car. So that was one of the funnier Terry King Tarrant moments,
That's
dude. It's like he was
amazing.
listening intently at the door for me to close the deal and he knew I couldn't. So he's like, I got this. You
That's
son of a
amazing.
bitch, I got it.
I
Yeah.
love the audacity of someone to drive like a certain distance, like it's a huge gamble. And I don't know if I admire or like loathe those people who will you agree upon, and I've had friends that have done it where like, hey,
Mhm.
okay, 9 grand, cool. Let's meet here, meet halfway, whatever. You show up and be like, oh, I had a problem at the bank. All I can get was 7, or
Yeah, I
this is
can't do
all I
it.
can come up with. And
Yeah.
now you're faced with the decision like I just drove, halfway across the country, 4, 5, 6 hours or whatever to go home empty handed.
Yep.
Like,
There's
man,
so many times hindsight, I wish I would have just walked away though. Like the most recent example is I bought these work wheels from a kid, and it's not his fault. Let me throw this out there. He was a nice guy. The wheels were not worth what I paid. They're a pile of shit. They're all
yeah,
beat to hell. One of them's bent. The faces are scratched up. Like I spent about $600 to $800 too much on these wheels. And when I got there to look at them, that's when he told me that one of them had a bend. And
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
dude, okay. So, but again, it's only 20, 30 minutes from my house. I could have easily just been walked away, but I didn't. I was whatever, man.
Still, yeah, I've made terrible
I
financial
like get them home.
decisions
One of them has a
because
leak. It's on the rim the next day. I'm like, dude, what the hell?
yeah, I've
It's
made
just
awful decisions solely based on the fact that I just drove and I don't want to drive home empty-handed.
yeah, it's terrible. I'll literally jump on Facebook Marketplace if I go somewhere and I'm not into it, and I'll just search for something else to buy. If you can believe that.
No, you never.
Speaking of Trans Ams, so what do you think this thing is going to make? It's a stock LS3. It's got an NA LS3 cam in it, BTR Red Hot cam, which is also their stage 2 LS3 cam, which is also their PDS stage 2 cam. There's like 6 names for the same cam because it works pretty well for everything. The
Mhm.
only thing the only thing that it doesn't work for is turbo. So that's why I bought it, because I have a turbo. Um I thought it'd be a good idea because I'm an idiot. And got a VS Racing 88. It's got the red hot cam, TH400 PTC converter. What do you think it makes?
Um, I think it'll make 4 digits, no problem.
No, come on.
What? It's an 88 103, right?
It could make 4 digits. It's a stock LS3.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know how far you wanted to party.
No, I would like the car to not blow up immediately.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean,
I think like
I
I think
would,
like 750 to 850 is my guess.
yeah, I would comfortably push it to 800, no
Yeah.
problem. But
Yeah. What do
if
you
I
think
didn't care
Miko
about
Hey,
the
what do you
longevity,
think Mikos's car makes?
um, like seven,
You
six,
piece of
seven
shit.
hundred.
I just want to confirm that our argument earlier, I was right, you were wrong. Thank you very
No,
much.
just put it in the dyno, come to Mooresville, and let's race. For those of you listening,
Listening at
Logan is referring
home,
to an
Rye is
argument, a
referring to our argument
conversation.
that we had.
It works real well when you talk right over directly me. Um, right over directly me.
Right over directly me.
So Mikos's car that we're referencing is my neighbor that lived directly across the street from me. One of my best friends in the whole planet tragically passed away a couple years ago after a battle with ALS,
Weird how he got
aka
that after meeting you, though, to be fair.
Lou Gehrig's disease. Fellow Marine, and just our kids played together. We hung out every night, and when after he passed away, my friend Mark purchased the car, and it has been in our keeping. So it's a 1989 Fox Body 408 LS from Thompson Motorsports, Frankenstein heads, BTR valve train, and it has a 91 millimeter turbo on it, FTI turbo 400 transmission, and it's got just a basic 6 point roll bar in it. We kind of built it to do 28-inch tires, small tire grudge racing, have some fun with it locally. Um, and because I don't have a running car myself, DeMark and I have talked, and I'm going to be racing this car this year, so I can kind of scratch the itch a little bit. And I had an idea. I have access to a Turbo LS car on small tires. Logan has access to a Turbo LS on small tires. And we also have access to a racetrack in Mooresville. Shout out to Eric Yost, aka Biggin. Why don't we meet halfway and actually race each other heads up?
Not a heads up race. Let me put it this way. Let me just back this fucking freight train up, you piece of shit. I liked Miko so much more than I like you. And it was really lame when he got sick, and it was really lame when he passed away. So let me not overshadow the fact that sucked. And I know it was hard for you, and this is the only sympathy I'm going to show you. But I remember talking to you when you were in the grocery store right afterwards and trying to make you laugh because, well, everything was just bumming you out.
Yeah,
Um,
and
now
I
that that's
appreciate that.
now that that's over, you're back to being just a piece of shit. So let's play this out. I'm in a parking lot and I'm setting a race up. I
Mhm.
know what I have. I got my cards are to my chest here, and I know what your car has. You have a built 408 with a 91 mil and an FTI TH 400 or Glide.
400.
Okay, FTI 400 and a stripped out Fox, like no HVAC, no nothing, right?
Hmm.
Okay, cool. Okay, so just to clarify, what does that car make at the tire?
I don't know.
Okay, if you had to just guess, you just guessed 4 digits. Like, if you had to guess,
It's
okay,
not
I
that
would
hard.
guess like 12 to 1300 wheel.
Maybe.
Okay, cool. So I have a stock LS3 with a VS Racing 88 millimeter turbo and a stock case 400. The trans I don't care about. The trans is apples to apples. Who cares? It's got a PTC converter. You do too. Whatever. And a full weight. The only thing taken out of that car is the HVAC. That's it. It's got HVAC taken out, but it's also way heavier than a Fox body. Fair. Fair.
I'm sure.
Okay, yeah,
Whatever.
okay.
Yeah.
So a car that weighs, let's say, 400 to 600 pounds more, that makes half the power yours makes, and you want me to trailer it to race you in a quote heads up. I'll tell you what, give me the eighth mile. Just give me
Oh,
the eighth.
Jason Webster just commented. You can race his truck instead.
Only if you post a complete nude photo of you from the front right now. You can bat wing it, whatever you want.
I just want to see a heads up shootout. I think it would be super fun to grab a lane next to you.
Why don't you race?
And
Hey, wait, hold on. Why don't you race Jason then? If Jason's willing to race me and you're willing to race me, why wouldn't you and Jason just race?
why would I
Yeah.
race Jason?
Well, Jason is saying you can race a 4,300 pound truck.
Right.
Both of you guys want to race me for some reason. So why don't you and Jason race each other?
I don't want to race Jason. I want to race you.
Is it because you haven't gone faster than me in 2 years?
No, it's because you and I have never grabbed a lane next to each other. We've
I
never gone on the
feel
track side by
there's
side.
there if
Oh,
there
who's
was
gonna hold the camera? We'll find someone, dude. Fuck it.
I don't think I've ever said who's gonna hold the
I don't
camera.
know. I'm just
Well,
I'm putting
I
words in your
have.
mouth.
No,
It's
I've said that. I've said that. You remember? I did say that. God.
Jeez.
Hold the camera. Um, no, in all honesty, I don't know what we're gonna do with the car. And I say we because I have talked to Hal at Dynasty about what to do with the car. That car, in my opinion, is a short block away from being a pretty cool party car.
Mhm.
You know, it needs a fuel system too. It's got a pair of Hellcat pumps, but I don't even like the pumps. I really don't care about. You can make good power on a pair of Hellcat pumps, but that car, like a piston rod 6 liter, I think would be a fun little ripper. I also think that Mikos's car has not gotten close to what it is capable of. I think that car could go much faster than what it's gone.
We'll 100% agree to that. Yes.
Okay, good. So you're agreeing that it's a bad race for me. That's cool.
I don't give a shit if you win or lose. I'm not talking about like I don't want to just bully you. I want to race with you, not
Okay.
against you. How's that sound? With you. Like, I think it would be super fun to go down the track side by
This
side with
feels
my best
very
friend
this feel
because my
this
other best friend passed away. And now I have his car. And I never got to do that with him. So I'm trying to do it to you before it's too late.
ah, fuck you, man. Mikos, dude, if you're listening, he's bitch made and he can't drag you into this shit, bro. When I say my prayers, I'm gonna apologize to him for you. God damn. I'll tell you this much. If if we had cars that sat similar, you know I have no problem. I want to see I think we go back to the drawing board and we both get like a couple grand budget to build whatever and we just shoot it out. I don't care if it's a Saturn fucking whatever. I don't care. I want to have fun with like that's the thing. The scale of investment and fun is very evident with this stuff.
Mhm.
Like I have a stock automatic 350Z and I'm like, dude, I love this thing. And I'm
Yeah, you
like,
text me like you need to go buy another 1994 Mustang. I'm like,
I
what?
mean it. I
I
mean it.
225 horsepower sounds torturous. Like the element that I got from you makes that.
No, it doesn't. That thing makes like 130 horsepower.
If that,
Yeah,
it's just a
yeah,
little rough right now.
yeah. Well, I told you to take care of it, and clearly you didn't listen.
Oh, my daughters haven't.
I thought that was gonna be your car.
No, my kids are driving it. My oldest daughter did figure out that there is not a chime to let you know that you left the headlights on when you get out of the car.
I disabled it to try to sabotage you on the drive
Yeah, she
home.
was like, "Hey, I'm turning the key and the element won't do anything." And I go, "Was it dark when you left the house?" And she goes, "Yeah, why?" And I go, "Are the headlights still on?" She goes, uh.
Uh,
It's like, "All right, well, find somebody with jumper cables." But
I'll tell you what though, if I had a stick shift in that Trans Am,
mhm.
I'd go right over to monsterclutchco.com and I'd scoop myself a clutch kit.
Yes, 100%.
We need to I would love to go to Monster Clutch Co and tour their facility. I've talked about this. I want to work a day in the life of one of these like clutch assembly gurus and
Yeah.
just ruin everything. I feel like I would really fuck some stuff up pretty quick.
Yeah, we want to get chased out of the building.
Like when I went to Steve Morris's place with Josh.
Mhm.
Steve Morris is I don't think that man likes me very much.
Ooh.
I yelled a lot.
I don't think Steve's a very happy camper right now. Well,
He's fine.
this will come out on Friday, but for those of you guys who haven't heard, he had a slight run-in with the wall at Orlando, doing some testing for Sick Week. So glad to see he's okay. Car looks like it could be fixed, but good luck to. I think Kyle's still pushing for Sick Week. Good luck to everybody at
Hey,
Sick Week
breaking
this week.
story here. Breaking story. So Brandon Pez, you see that? I don't know how to pronounce the last name. You see the pro mod that got hit in the pits?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal. Pro mod got hit in the pits. They took a video of it, and the guy that was videoing it, I don't know, but he said something along the lines of this is sabotage and all this stuff.
Can you
And
back up just 1 second and expand on hit? It wasn't just like
I was going to,
bumped.
but you interrupt me.
Okay, go ahead.
So World Series of Pro Mod, Brandon's car gets hit while it's up on Projects. They come outside, and the rear spoiler's bent in a little bit, and the whole car is kind of pushed into the trailer. Now, just being honest, it didn't look that bad. It looked bad, but it didn't look like the car couldn't race. Just personal opinion. It looked a raceable car still. It does not justify what happened. I'm not saying that what happened wasn't wrong. It was fucking wrong the way they handled it. Now, here's the thing. He posted in the comments that they found a push bar and there was blood on the ground. So my first thing was I screenshotted the video with the blood and I'd made a picture and I said, check the local ER. There's
Mhm.
blood everywhere. And Brandon just posted the following. And again, let me just be extremely clear. I'd be fucking furious if that was my car. So I get it. I totally get it. It's absolutely not cool. They should have at least alerted somebody before they left. But listen to the following. The guy that hit my car last night contacted me. They were drunk on a golf cart and lost control of it. They immediately went to their pit and passed out. One of them woke up in pain and went to the hospital for a broken arm and to fix up some cuts. They were very apologetic and said they would pay for damages. As long as they keep their word, I'm not going to blast them. I'm very grateful to everyone that reached out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So my immediate thought was check the local ERs
Mhm.
because of the amount of blood that was on the ground.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone did that, but that's the first thing they should have done. There was blood I mean, there was when you
Yeah.
see blood on asphalt clearly
Yeah.
hours after it happened,
Yeah, you lost a little bit.
someone was gushing. The only thing is, whoever you're drunk, your blood is thin. You take that kind of whack and you're bleeding out. Whoever it was is lucky they didn't fucking die in their sleep if they caught an artery or something. Like
Mhm.
that could have been really, really bad for everyone involved. But I am stoked that the car's okay. They're going to make rounds. This is going to go live on Friday on our podcast on the channel, but at the same time, if you're watching from home right now, it sucked. The whole thing sucked. I woke up and saw the, or not woke up, but I saw the video get posted, and dude, I can't imagine. Imagine coming out your trailer and
Oh,
kill faces sideways into your trailer.
yeah, dude. I would be like with the what I saw was that car was pushed over. Lucky it didn't fall completely off the Projax, but the skid on the ground, like it moved it a good 3, 4 feet. So
So yeah, my only
to
thing was it didn't look like it took a side impact that heavy. Like the spoiler was bent in,
mhm.
but I didn't see any other damage, and I don't know that there was or wasn't.
Yeah, it didn't look terrible, but it looked like it. Yeah, it could have gone definitely way worse if it would have fallen completely off the jacks.
I would still obviously it doesn't take anything away. I would be fucking in.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm the worst person to talk about keeping your chill. So
yeah. I've seen the way you react when your hood flew off the roof of your car at Charlotte.
I was pretty chill about
You
that.
were pretty good, but you were
And then
definitely in
I
a
was
bad
pissed,
place.
but I was pissed. I went across the way. The detailing guys came over. Fuck, I wish I could remember their name. I feel like a dick now. But they came over and buffed it out, and then I
Yeah.
painted the whole car. But yeah. All right, hey, one last thing before we get off here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for a clutch kit.
Matter of fact, I am. Where would I go to get a clutch kit?
You want to know the answer?
Well, yeah, that's why I'm
You gotta
asking.
follow. You gotta follow your
Stupid.
heart.
I'm asking stupid.
You gotta follow your heart.
And where's my heart telling me? Oh, what's that? Monsterclutches.com? Oh
Monster
man.
Clutch Co. It's Monster Clutch Co. Hold on. Hold on.
Hold on for what? It's monsterclutches.com is the website.
I know. I was thinking about maybe I play a tune.
Ooh.
It's my guitar. I don't have anything planned. But if you want to sing, I could just play one note.
I think you should carry it because I think there's a delay between and I won't be able to.
Okay, well then never mind. I had a whole thing
Just
planned. But
no. This could be the outro for all of our podcasts. Let's go live right now.
It has so many stairs. I had friends at one point. Now
How
they're
mad
all
would you be
gone.
if I took acetone and wiped all those off?
I probably never speak to you again. I'm Top Gun. All right, monsterclutchco.com. This has been the Clapped Out Podcast. I'm Logan.
I'm Rye.
That was corny. You do it. And you do it. I can't deal with what just happened.
Tune in next week for the next episode of the Clapped Out Podcast presented by Monster Clutches. Once again, my name is Rye. You can follow me on all social media at Clapped Out, and that's Logan.
You can follow me on at Logan Tarrant because I'm selfish and that's who I am as a person.
Hey. Thanks for tuning in.
Did you
Good
hit him with
day.
that? No.